What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down this 10-game MLB DFS slate on DraftKings in FanDuel. Excited to get into it. Going to be giving you guys the top plays to get you in that green cash line tonight. As always, if you enjoyed the content, would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Really do appreciate the support, guys. All the likes, all of the comments, all of the above. Like goal on all these videos is going to be 200 likes. And hopefully you played some Ronald Acuna yesterday, my home run call of the day. Called him going deep, said I could see him going deep multiple times. And what did he do? Boom, boom, 2 bombs for Ronald Acuna. So fantastic home run call yesterday. For those of you that are new to the channel, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video for my home run call of the day. It's not always going to be an elite guy like Acuna, but when it's a good spot like that where I just really think it's unavoidable, I will pick elite guys. I'm going to pick some sleepers low in the lineup, all the above. So, it's not always just going to be the best players. This is all analytical driven, data driven research of home run calls. And I got a bunch of them if you're new, and I'm excited to be back, man. It's good to be back with the home run calls. Things have been getting crazy. We got the NBA Finals. I do player props content. I do this DraftKings FanDuel content, all the above. If you haven't checked out the premium content packages, would highly recommend you check them out. Patreon.com/KJK_DFS. That's the link below in the description. If you're getting really serious about MLB DFS, props, all that stuff, if you're playing MLB DFS, you can get access to my DraftKings and FanDuel core plays, my cheat sheet, my top stacks, all of that stuff. I did just release an MLB All-Star package as well, where you get exclusive Discord, exclusive live streams, going over these slates with me later on in the day when we get all the lineups and all that stuff. So lots of value over there. And if you haven't checked out Super Draft, check them out. They're the sponsor of the program. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match deposit on your first $25 deposit. We went 4-1 over there on our player props yesterday as well. So another good day on Super Draft. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. I'll be giving you guys picks on Super Draft or player props. They do offer DFS contests as well. All that fun stuff. So let's get into the breakdown. As always, we're going to do pitchers first. We'll talk about the pitchers that we want to target, and then in the latter half of the video, we'll break down bats. And as always, I like to go ahead and sort my sheet by K rate. Why? Because it's fantasy sports. We get points for strikeouts. And the top guy on the slate is going to be Aaron Nola, taking on the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. He comes in with a 29.9% K rate overall, only a 4.8% walk rate, 27.2% K rate against righties, and a 32.7% K rate against lefties. So Aaron Nola is the real deal. No surprise there. If you've been following baseball for quite some time, you know that as is. But he is certainly looking like one of the top options on the slate. He comes in as a 133 favorite, taking on this Milwaukee team that when you're looking at their lineup up and down as far as how they fared in the strikeout category, every single hitter in this lineup has a 20+% K rate. So should be plenty of strikeout upside here. He's expected to get the win. He's got the leash. Everything you're looking for out of a top pitcher as far as Aaron Nola as of late in his pitch count, 109, 91, 98, 108. Gave up 5 earned runs last time, won the time before, 4-2-4. He's been a little bit rocky, I will say, but the strikeouts are there. He is a favorite. As far as I'm concerned, Nola definitely one of the top options on the slate. Second on the list is going to be Connor Pinkleton, taking on the Texas Rangers. He comes in with a 29.1% K rate overall with a 15.3% swinging strike rate. Has displayed some really good swing and miss stuff early on, but he does have a bit of a walk issue. And then when you're looking at his leash and all that stuff, as far as how deep he's going to be going into these games, as of late, he's been getting up there right around 90 pitches. So I do think he's worth considering in your tournament lineups for sure. He's only 6'7" over here on DraftKings as a cheap punt play if you need the the pay-up options. As far as FanDuel's concerned and where they've got him priced on FanDuel, let's see. I don't even see him listed over here on FanDuel. Am I missing something? I don't even see him listed. Is he not available to play on FanDuel? Is that a thing? The other thing is we are dealing with some weather issues today, but I don't think he's 7-1 on FanDuel according to this, so I must be going right by him. He's just not shown as the probable pitchers is probably the issue here. So let me uncheck that box. Let's see. Pilkington. Yeah, okay, 7-1. He's just not listed as the probable starter, so once he is, he'll pop up on FanDuel. But he's been pretty solid with the swinging strike stuff, 45 last time out, 45 FanDuel points at 7-1. You take that. So he's not a bad option for sure. It's just we do have 2 really, really good options in Aaron Nola, number 1, we talked about, and then Nestor Cortez, number 2. We have some more. We have more than 2 really good options, I should say. This is pretty loaded slate for pitching. 28.4% K rate overall for Cortez, 25.9% hard contact rate. Does a great job of limiting hard contact. He features a 27.7% K rate against righties and a 31.3% K rate against lefties. He is a massive favorite, taking on this Minnesota Twins squad tonight. I shouldn't say massive, but he's a pretty heavy favorite, 174 favorite. And when you're looking at the Minnesota Twins lineup up and down, as far as their K rate against left-handed pitching, they don't have the highest of strikeouts throughout the heart of the order, I will say. It's a little bit of a mix of low strikeout stuff, but they do have some really high strikeout guys mixed throughout. Jeffers, 34%, Lenark, 36%, Urshela and Sanchez, 24 and 27%, Buxton, 27%. So then a bunch of low strikeout guys in between. But Cortez, he's been great. He's stretched out. If you want to pay up for him, certainly does make a lot of sense. You have Tony Gonsolin taking on the Chicago White Sox, who have been struggling a bit. My problem with Gonsolin always has been the pitch count, as far as, how long of a leash he has, how long they're willing to let him work. Does look like he's being pulled right around 90 pitches every game. So for me, he's a decent option. He's been pitching good. He's got good stuff, but not quite as high on the list as some of these other guys. Sean Manaea taking on the New York Mets it's really not the best matchup, so you could go to him as a tournament option, but I'd much rather target Nathan Eovaldi taking on the LA Angels. The LA Angels have been terrible. They're striking out a ton. Eovaldi has a 24.3% K rate against righties and a 27.4% K rate against lefties. And Mike Trout just went down with an injury last night, unfortunately, so it's looking like now they're going to be without Mike Trout. So Eovaldi is a phenomenal option tonight. You look at the Angels lineup up and down from strikeouts, starting from the bottom up with Velasquez, 31, 26, 21, 32, 31, 25, 30, 28, 21. I mean, this is going to be a lineup. If Trout's got out for a while, now Ohtani doesn't even have the protection of Trout. They don't even have to pitch to Ohtani if they want to. They can pitch around him and then just strike out everyone else. So, I mean, the Angels are in trouble. Eovaldi's in a fantastic spot. He's going to be someone you could certainly be targeting. We have Alex Wood taking on Colorado after Carlos Rodon let us down last night. Rodon has really good hard contact stuff, decent strikeout stuff. He gets to take on a Rockies team that's been pretty good against left-handed pitching, I will say, but he is a 221 favorite. He does have a nice, price discount compared to some of these other guys that we've talked about throughout the video. So if you want to go to some Alex Wood, I don't hate it. I definitely don't love it either, though. I will say, he's not nearly as high on my list as some of the other options we've talked about. And then Chris Bassett taking on the Padres, I think, is a viable candidate as well. The Padres have been pretty bad against right-handed pitching all season long. So Chris Bassett, he's been pretty solid. Does have a long leash. He features about a 25% K rate to both sides of the plate. Certainly could be going to him. And then, Ian Anderson taking on Oakland would be a great spot. If we have some weather issues, though. I don't really know if this game, we need to keep our eyes on the weather is the problem here. So Ian Anderson would be a great option if this game does play. We also are dealing with some weather issues in Baltimore. So the rest of the slate's kind of just we're dealing with some weather issues. So I'd be willing to go to Anderson. I'd be willing to go to Marcus Stroman taking on the Orioles as some decent options. Definitely would prefer Anderson there of the two, but both are decent options. And then from there, definitely no one else I really want to be targeting on this slate from a pitching aspect. Switching on over to bats, as always, I like to go ahead and sort my sheet by Sierra, skill or active ERA. It's a good way of determining how good a pitcher's been so far in the season, how good he's expected to be in the future, and the worst on the slate is going to be Johan Oviedo taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. He features a 404 slugging given up to righties, a 442 slugging given up to lefties. Really has not been too good, and he has to take on a Tampa Bay Rays squad tonight that when we're looking at their implied total has a 4.12 implied total. Not the highest of total. It is in the Trop, which isn't the best hitting environment. Go ahead and pull up the diagram here for those of you that don't know. Tampa Bay, not the best hitting environment. A lot of red going on as far as the Trop's concerned. So, of course, that's always factored in. But, nothing hasn't been good. And the Rays have some guys that can slug. Randy Rosarina, Manuel Margot, Harold Ramirez, Yandy Diaz, Mejia, Paredes, Zanino has a bunch of power as the catcher. Walls, Brujan has some speed. Certainly don't hate the Rays stack. It's not going to be the top stack on the slate because of the hitting environment and everything, but you could be targeting them. Reed Detmer's taking on Boston. He's pretty easy to sum up. Really bad across the board with some hard contact issues. He gives up a 421 slugging to righties and a 475 slugging to lefties. Just has not been good. The Boston Red Sox do have a pretty nice implied total. They're the away team. They have a 4.75 implied total targeting him. Definitely viable with both sides of the plate. Enrique Hernandez, Rafael Devers, JD, Xander, Story through the heart of the order, all slug lefties. Bobby Dahlbeck, Kevin Plawecki, and Christian Arroyo all hit lefties better than righties as well. So while they aren't the most talented hitters in the world, Bobby Dahlbeck has a ton of power. He just strikes out a ton. And you look at the matchup here with Detmers, he only has a 17.6% K rate. So Dahlbeck's always a guy that I'm looking to target when he's facing a low strikeout, hard contact lefty. Mashes left-handed pitching, so low in the order. I think Dahlbeck is an interesting tournament option tonight for sure. Okay, so we talked about Packy not in. Okay, so Johan Oviedo is expected to be the opener, I believe, and then Packy Naughton's going to come in as, or Oviedo is going to be the long reliever. Okay, so we kind of already discussed this, but both these guys really aren't good, so I apologize for that. I should have been on top of that. But a 443 slugging given up for Naughton against righties, and a 381 slugging to lefties, and then Oviedo is going to take over in the long term. I was talking about Oviedo's stats, but it's going to be a combination of Oviedo and Naughton. They're both kind of not that good, so still what I said about the race stack does apply. Apologies for the confusion there. Adrian Hauser's pretty good at limiting hard contact against righties, not so much against lefties, so we do prefer to target him with lefties, and the Philadelphia Phillies do have a couple of really good lefties, so you could definitely be targeting them in Milwaukee as well, which is a great ballpark to be targeting left-handed power. Pulling up the diagram as far as Milwaukee is concerned here down that right field line, always a spot that I'm looking to target in Milwaukee. See Miller Park, lots of green going on down that right field line, so always a ballpark I like to target left-handed power, and Hauser has some left-handed splits issues, so fantastic. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber look like great options. Didi Gregorius, Bryson Stott, Moniak you could be looking to. I really don't like the righties, though. Hauser's really good against those righties, and the Milwaukee Brewers do have a really good bullpen, so it's more of a one-off situation. The Yankees are in a great spot taking on Chris Archer. You look at his numbers across the board, terrible. 35.4% hard contact rate. He gives up a 453 slugging to righties, a 378 slugging to lefties. The Yanks are on the road. They've been hot. Definitely do have a lot of interest in the Yankee stack. LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Hicks, Falefa, Higashioka, Gallo. I would definitely be willing to go 1 through 9 here. Obviously, you want those elite bats and Stanton, Rizzo, Judge if you can all, if at all possible, fit them. But if you need the salary relief, I don't mind the bottom of the order at all either in this matchup. So I think the Yanks have a good game. Definitely like their bats. You have Senzatella taking on the Giants. We know his story. He doesn't strike out anyone. He gives up a bunch of hard contact. 36.2% hard contact rate with a 441 slugging given up to righties and a 447 slugging given up to lefties. He is not good. The Giants feature a lineup with a bunch of power. They're in San Francisco, which is less than ideal from a hitting environment aspect, but they still do have a 5.12 implied total. Definitely would be willing to load up on these guys, mainly 1 through 6. Longoria, Crawford, Jock, Wilmer, Yastrzemski, LaStella. You can certainly round out your stacks at the bottom if you need the salary relief, but Luis Gonzalez, Walton, and Bart aren't as much of an interest to me. So I'd be mainly looking to go 1 through 6 there. For the most part, Jordan Lyles is a guy that gives up a bunch of hard contact. Once again, we don't have confirmation on this game's going to play. He does give up a 48 slugging to righties and a 488 slugging to lefties. So if the game does play, you could definitely be taking a look to a Cubs stack. On the road, they have a 4.43 implied run total. And their team, I'd be willing to go 1 through 9 too. I definitely like the 1 through 9. Magical and Hayward, they don't have much power, but there's some speed down there. I don't hate that. And then Johnny Cueto against the Dodgers. The Dodgers are definitely a viable stack. It's not the best hitting weather in Chicago is the only problem, but Cueto gives up a 441 slugging to righties and a 452 slugging to lefties. The Dodgers are always a viable stack. I mean, they're just a nasty lineup up and down. I wish the hitting weather was a little bit better, but with the fact that Cueto doesn't strike anyone out and the ball's going to be put in play, I mean, this Dodgers lineup could turn this lineup over 6 times easily with how talented they are. Everyone gets 6 at-bats. And that could be the stack to win your tournaments. So they're obviously going to be viable. And then once we get down past them, I mean, Dane Dunning, you're mainly looking to target with left-handed hitting. He gives up a 435 slugging. He does have a hard contact issues against those lefties. So if you want to target him, Corey Kluber, you're looking to target with right-handed hitting. So the Cardinals actually could be in a sneaky good spot here. They only have a 3.38 implied total. Kluber does have some reverse splits. Except the Cardinals are starting to become a little bit more left-handed heavy than they were in years past, I will say. But Goldschmidt, Arenado, O'Neill, those 3 guys specifically would look like some nice low-owned options against his splits issues. And then Dunning, like I said, you're really looking to target him with the lefties when it comes to Cleveland. So the lefties in Cleveland, but there's 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from right center, which is less than ideal. But Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor have a bunch of power. That wind does not help the case of their bats tonight, though. So. And then Jared Koenig is expected to make his debut for the Athletics. The Braves have a 5.8 implied run total. This kid's been really, really good in the minors, though. So I'm a little concerned that this run total is a little bit inflated and that he could actually probably have a pretty good game here. He comes in at 7.2 on FanDuel. And you look at his stats. He's going to make his major league debut, and his numbers in AAA. He has a 2.21 SIERA, 61 strikeouts, and 53 innings. In AAA Las Vegas, which is quite impressive considering the hitter-friendly conditions of the Pacific Coast League. So this kid does look like the real deal. He's 7.2 on FanDuel as far as his price tag over here on DraftKings. He's 5K, which is pretty interesting. I mean, the Braves rank #1 in the league as far as ISO against left-handed pitching, but they've been striking out a lot in the season. So don't get me wrong. I have interest in the Braves stack, but I think this is a player fade spot, as it always is in baseball. But you're either stacking them up, or you could even fade them and go to the young talented arm in Koenig. So I do think that is interesting to talk about. So that is my overall breakdown of this slate today. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my home run call of the day, of course. But if you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Check out the premium content packages, link below in the description. And if you haven't signed up for Super Draft, check them out. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first $25 deposit. I'll be giving you guys picks to win some money on that as well. Take advantage of that free money offer. Use that free $25 to start winning some money over there. So, got to give you guys my home run call of the day. Let's get into it. And my home run call of the day today is going to be Giancarlo Stanton taking on Chris Archer. We had mentioned his hard contact issues against right-handed hitting. Dreadful numbers across the board. He gives up a .453 slugging with a 39.6% hard contact rate, a .344 WOBA to go along with a 45.3% flyball rate, and only a 20.8% K rate. Then when you break down what he goes to as far as his repertoire is concerned, only a two-pitcher guy. Fastball slider combination, he'll go to the fastball 42% of the time against right-handed hitting. That fastball sitting at about a 92, 93 mile-an-hour fastball on average. And Stanton features a .536 ISO with a 63.64% hard contact rate against that pitch. .578 WOBA, and then when he breaks out the slider, no issue either, because Stanton features a .319 ISO with a 41.67% hard contact rate to go along with a .382 WOBA. Think he gets into one here against Chris Archer and launches one to the moon. Get him in your lineups because he is my home run call of the day. So there we go, guys, Giancarlo Stanton. Get him in your lineups, and that is all for me in this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell on your way out the door. Wishing you guys all the best of luck on your DraftKings and FanDuel contest tonight, and we will see you in the next one.